Okay, so in this explainer, we're going to completely reframe your understanding of what it actually takes to build wealth. We're going to decode the frameworks used by some of the most effective minds in business and philosophy to show you how to finally stop trading your life force for a paycheck and start building real, lasting wealth. If you've ever felt like you're just running on an endless treadmill, putting in absolutely exhausting hours, but not getting any closer to actual financial freedom, you are in exactly the right place. Let's dive into it.
You know exactly who I'm talking about here. You've probably met someone who works harder than almost everyone else you know. I mean, they're up at 5 a.m. battling this miserable commute. They're the very first person to arrive at the office, the last to leave, and they grind through the weekends, totally missing family dinners and, actual life experiences. Yet, despite all of this sweat and sacrifice, they're still struggling financially. Their bank account never really seems to grow. It's incredibly frustrating to watch, isn't it? See, we're sold this massive foundational lie by society that raw input equals output, that exhaustive effort automatically translates into financial success. But honestly, the math is completely broken. Why is it that the people pulling the longest hours are so often the ones furthest from actual economic security?
Section 1, Labor versus Leverage. As author Seth Godin points out, back in the old days, hard physical labor was literally measured by how many pounds of gravel you could carry on your back simply because we didn't have machines. That was pure labor. The harder you worked, the more gravel you moved. But today, hard work is entirely different. Think about it like this. Manually typing out and sending 100 individual emails every single day is modern-day gravel. It's exhausting, sure, but it's just labor. Building a simple piece of software or an automated sequence that sends out 10,000 targeted emails while you're literally out having lunch, now that is leverage. Hard work today is coming up with a solution that isn't already on the list. It's making a good, high-stakes decision. If you're just checking boxes and doing tasks that anyone else can do, you're just carrying gravel in a digital world.
Author Ryan Holiday often references this brilliant insight from the great John Steinbeck, who called pushing through exhaustion just for the sake of it the indiscipline of overwork. Actually, let that phrase sink in for a second. The indiscipline of overwork. We've totally been conditioned to think it's a badge of honor to pull all-nighters, right? We think staying at the office until 8 p.m. shows great character. But working just for work's sake is burning energy into a void. It's a false economy. Staying late just to look busy isn't a sign of dedication. It's an inability to prioritize. It's literally a lack of discipline to figure out how best to actually spend your time. Robert Greene drops an absolute truth bomb in his book, The 48 Laws of Power. He says you must learn to get others to do the work for you. And yeah, while the phrasing sounds beautifully ruthless, the underlying economic truth is just undeniable. If you insist on doing all the work yourself, you place a strict, unbreakable ceiling on your own success. There are only 24 hours in a day. You have to break the bottleneck, and guess what? The bottleneck is you. In today's economy, others doesn't even just mean hiring a massive team of full-time employees. It means hiring specialized freelancers, utilizing AI, buying software, and building automated systems. You have to find people or tools with the technical skills you lack and build a machine around them. Section 2, Skills over Hours. The legendary management consultant Peter Drucker teaches us that everyone is wired differently. Some people are just morning people, others thrive in the absolute dead of midnight. Some need deep isolation, while others need bursts of collaborative energy. It is your absolute responsibility to figure out exactly how you work best, your optimal wiring, and then aggressively protect those hours. Block your calendar, turn on airplane mode, guard your peak energy hours with your life. If you're a morning creative, do not trade your incredibly valuable, high-leverage morning hours for low-leverage afternoon tasks like answering standard emails. That is exactly where leverage is born. But what should you actually be pointing that deep energy at? Scott Galloway in his framework, The Algebra of Wealth, gives some incredibly counterintuitive advice here. Society is constantly telling you to follow your passion. Well, Galloway argues that this is terrible advice. It's usually given by people who are already rich. I mean, nobody grows up deeply passionate about corporate tax law or supply chain logistics, right? Instead, you must ruthlessly follow your talent. Find what you're naturally good at, apply thousands of hours of intense grit to it, and achieve mastery. Passion is actually a byproduct of mastery. Once you master a highly compensated skill, the money, the recognition, and the absolute freedom will naturally follow. This totally takes the pressure off finding your life's purpose and gives you permission to just get exceptionally good at something useful. To reach that level of mastery without wasting your limited time on Earth, you need a cheat code. As Robert Greene lays out, you must find a mentor. Life is simply too short to rely purely on your own trial and error. But here's the catch. You don't just send a cold email asking a highly successful person to be your mentor. No way. You have to offer them immense value first. You solve a lingering problem for them, you take annoying work off their plate, and in exchange, you gain proximity to their leverage. You get to absorb their hard-earned knowledge and literally bypass decades of mistakes.
Section 3. Income versus wealth. So, once you have those high-leverage skills, you start making real money. But right here is where we encounter the most dangerous trap in personal finance, confusing a high income with actual wealth. Let's use a stark example. A doctor making $400,000 a year, who spends $400,000 a year on a massive mortgage, luxury cars, and private schools, is completely broke the very moment they stop working. They're not wealthy. They're just a highly paid laborer. Income is simply money traded for time. Wealth, as Scott Galloway defines it, is an asset base sufficient to fund your lifestyle while you sleep. If you're just working hard to buy status symbols, you're burning your life force into the capitalist void. You can never build that asset base if you're constantly chasing the next lifestyle upgrade. Paul Millard, in his book The Pathless Path, introduces this brilliant concept, defining your personal enough. What is your number? If your goalpost keeps moving every single time you get a raise, you're trapped on a treadmill. There will literally always be someone with a bigger house, a nicer kitchen, or a better watch. By clearly defining what is enough for you to live with financial ease, you cap your expenses. Defining enough is the ultimate cheat code to financial freedom, because it frees you from mindless consumption and allows your wealth to actually start compounding. Section 4. Building your asset base. Okay, this is Scott Galloway's Algebra of Wealth. The exact formula is wealth equals focus plus stoicism multiplied by time multiplied by diversification. Let's walk through this mathematically real quick. Focus is your career, maximizing your income by leaning aggressively into your talent. Stoicism is your character, having the intense discipline to live below your means, save that income, and resist the temptation to buy status. Diversification is protecting your investments from catastrophic risk by spreading your bets. And time is your ultimate, undeniable multiplier. Today, you use your focus to earn. Tomorrow, you use stoicism to keep it. Over the years, you invest that capital. Think about your saved money not as a static number in a bank account, but as an army of capital. Every single dollar you save is a little soldier. You want to deploy a platoon, then a division, then a massive army of capital that goes out into the global market and fights for you, generating more money while you're literally sleeping. Over decades, compound interest takes over. The universe is slow, but it has time on its side. You have to let time do the heavy lifting for you. Section 5. 5 vital career decisions. So let's break down exactly what you need to do to activate this framework in the real world. First, as we covered, abandon passion and follow your talent. Second, move to a major city and go into the physical office. Why? Because your 20s and 30s are for aggressively expanding your network. You need proximity to power, to mentors, and to high opportunity density. Remote work is great for lifestyle, but it's terrible for career velocity early on. Third, be loyal to people, not companies. Corporations are faceless entities that will lay you off without a second thought. Build unshakable loyalty with talented peers and mentors who will pull you up with them. Fourth, prune your hobbies. World-class success requires asymmetrical focus. You cannot be a business killer, a scratch golfer, and a master gamer all at once. Focus requires intense sacrifice. And the fifth decision, partner up. Seriously, this is the most important financial decision you will ever make. A bad partnership, leading to constant emotional drain and eventually divorce, is the absolute fastest way to destroy your wealth. It will obliterate your asset base. Conversely, choosing the right life partner and actively investing in that marriage acts as an unmatched economic multiplier. Going through life aligned as a team allows you to share burdens, pool resources, and maintain the emotional stability required to take really big risks. Don't let the solo grind culture trick you into thinking you have to conquer the world entirely alone. A phenomenal partnership is massive leverage. So look, the 12-hour-a-day grinder is stuck because they're relying entirely on their own labor. They're just carrying digital gravel, hoping someone notices. But you now know the math. Find your talent, protect your peak hours with your life, offer immense value to get a mentor, define your enough, to escape the endless status trap. Save your money with stoic discipline and deploy every single dollar as a soldier in your army of capital to compound over time. Hard work opens doors. Leverage changes your life. So looking at your calendar for tomorrow, are you building a system that will eventually pay you while you sleep? Or are you just carrying someone else's gravel?